You can find me everywhere on the internet at empathic_Grimm, and I am going to pass it off to Tiffany.
Hi, I'm Tiffany. I play Felicity Fairfax. She is discovering who she is now. Now that she's discovering who she is apart from the men in her life, which is a great way to put it. And she's finding out that she really doesn't like it when people try to cheat their way to the top of the concerto. That's a big no for her. And as for what I do, I'm a GM for my own show called Dungeon Damsels. You can find us on YouTube. And I was editing just on Monday, and we have an episode where a druid and another shapeshifter go on a dog date, and it's really adorable and it's wholesome. Michael is also in it. He plays the druid Ellie, and it felt like a warm hug, and it's been a while since I had GM'd that, so it was nice to come back to. So if you want, that will be posted pretty soon. And so yeah, and I love playing with this group. We have really good chemistry here, so you're in for a good show. I'm done.
And yeah, if you ever need a feel good, look for the Firefly in the Bottle for Dungeon Damsels.
It's a butterfly, but yeah.
Butterfly, that's right, Butterfly in the Bottle for Dungeon Damsels. Let's go ahead and do Michael.
Hello, I'm Michael. Online, you can find me at RoboSardi doing art and animation. You can also find me in Tiffany's game as said druid going on said dog date. But today, you'll find me facing off against other kaijus and in high society with these genteel folk. And man, I'm excited to play. Not excited that it's the last one, but man, this finale is going to be great. I'm very excited to play with these guys.
And let's go ahead and do Morgan.
What's up, travelers? I am Morgan with My Flay Mondays. My pronouns are he, him. You can find me on the socials at My Flay Mondays, except at Twitter, it's My Flay Mun. I'm the founder of MyFlayMondays.com. It's a website where you can hire myself or others to run amazing games for you, your friends, or your family. Please check us out. We primarily focus on D&D 5e, but we are willing to run other things as well. In this game, I am Arthur Percy Blackwood, the Cowboy Count. And as always, I'm really excited to play with these wonderful people, especially since we missed last week. And I am also very sad that this is the last episode for this. So let's see what we can come up with tonight.
Wait, I forgot to say who I was because I'm so excited. I'm playing Count Cadman Cavendish, half brother to Felicity Fairfax.
Stepbrother.
Stepbrother. Thank you.
Not half brother.
Not half brother.
Not half brother.
Stepbrother, but everybody sees them as twins. So
pretty much, everybody sees correct.
Pretty much.
Perfect. And let's go ahead and do Blake.
Hello, everybody. I'm Blake. You can find me on producer for R and Bay, and also on my own channel at Blake Chenard Francis. So I'm just really bummed this last episode. So it's like, but if you guys make a big fuss in the comments, you know what I mean? Like you blow this up, like we'll have to bring it back. So I'm not telling you guys what to do, but I'm just saying. Either way, though, I'm playing Duke Francis Batchett Brown, and yeah, it's been a pleasure to get to play for Grimm. So I'm excited to. This group's always been great. Like, been going on for years now, and it's been like no other group. So yeah, you're in for a special treat as always.
And last, but certainly not least, Natalie.
All right. Hi, everybody. My name is Natalie. Find me most places on the internet with Ghost Candle or Ghostly Candle on Twitch and YouTube. I am an artist, an actual play performer, which Friday, if you can catch me at Cat the Lore Mistress's channel, where we're playing a one-shot of Stew Pot. So we're retired adventurers living life in a village, and I'm excited. I am a fighter who is a chef. So we'll see how that goes. Nice. Otherwise, here tonight for the final time, I am playing the Lady Beatrice Douglas of Queensberry, once a very stern and rigid woman, but is finally turned around and embracing a part of herself that she had to put away for the sake of family. Because Faye shenanigans happened.
Yeah, they did.
And I'm
As
so
they
excited to
always
play
do.
with these folks. I love it.
So, as a very quick recap, there was a performance that was unfortunately put off before it could even begin. Tea was had, conversations were had, and self-challenges were faced. Now then, there's a shaking in the ground. I believe we left it on Tiffany's turn. Ground is shaking as you see the slow draw of the violin string straight across, pressing down hard enough that you can see that it's almost cutting into the strings as this baleful sound is pulled from these wretched strings. Everybody, so you have one action. What do you do? You can tell that there something is going to happen now. You can tell that power is building. You can't tell at this point what that power is for, but there is power building up. You know, music is power. It's the entirety of how you are as a ranger. This is your first time seeing some of the scarier things you've done with your music being turned against you.
Okay. Felicity very much thinks that the music world is hers. And so she,
To be fair,
like,
rightfully so.
yeah, she's like, excuse me. Oh, you think you can take first chair by cheating? I'll show you what it takes. And then she starts to play out, probably, let me pick something from my list. I'll go with Liszt's Totentans again, because I use that for smoke screens a lot, but she's actually going to utilize it in the sense that she's anticipating the energy coming. And she wants to either create an actual shield over the space, or create a reflection, something to reflect it back.
Okay.
I don't know if I can do either, but
I'm just running through this Totentons in my head real quick. I'm trying to figure out which sections would work for that. Okay, so I think that you could work in the reflective aspect of it.
Okay.
So I like that. This kind of leads into that subtlety of the song in certain aspects.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's almost like you are baiting the focus of the song to be on you, with the intent of reflecting it back on her. You're almost circling and trapping her within your music.
Yeah.
Okay.
I like it.
Cool. Let's go ahead and roll me a footwork for that.
Okay, check that.
You have enough for advantage?
Yeah, everyone should have enough advantage for footwork.
That's a hero.
Right now.
That's a hero.
Yeah, it is. So yeah, and you can see, because you've actually done large debuffing moves before to hit a lot of usually starlings. You can kind of tell where the music is kind of going with that, and you kind of bait this pull of the violin bow. And in the last moment, you kind of pull that focus on Muse because you purposefully miss time by just a fraction of a second to draw the attention.
Yeah.
And because it's one of those things where in order to break the rules of music, you have to know the rules of music.
Yeah.
This is where improvisation comes from. and you're able to use your mastery of your craft, because you have put thousands of hours into music at this point in your life, and you trap, and it's with the hero. It's not just reflecting the magic. Your music envelops this blast of almost like necrotizing energy, and just weaves it into this golden chain, binding her in place down, knees and wrists down, violin and bow separated, and it is the two of you. And to everyone else, there's this shell of golden music over the stage. You guys can't see what's going on. But Felicity Fairfax, you can kind of see the world around, and you see everything kind of slowing down as you hear Morpheus' voice in your head for the first time in a very long time.
Oh, okay.
Before you have a choice.
Okay.
If you choose to take on the weight of a second arcana, you can find within you power like that, like none of which you know at this point. But there's a cost. To carry and personify a second arcana is a heavy weight on one's heart. Truths. Sometimes truths will be revealed to you about yourself. Not all truths are easy to bear. Do you accept the weight of this arcana?
Well, am I Felicity Fairfax or not? And then she just puts her hand out.
So, okay. As always, you have 3 chances.
Okay.
So I'm going to need a hero from you. This shouldn't be a hard roll for you. You are. So, real quick for everybody.
Okay.
Well, welcome to Polymorph. Everyone here rolls a very specific die. They only roll 1 die for everything. If you look at the bottom of the page right now, you will see something called the tracker. The tracker kind of tells you what they're looking to roll. Felicity, what is
it
your
just hero
mantle?
for her? Or is it hero and honor like?
Yeah, for her. Well, yeah, it'll be yeah.
Yeah, I
just
roll
make
a
sure.
I roll a d4, and I have like a number of different ones.
Yeah.
I'm trying to find my little triangle one, but it's not here. So,
you're hero and honor, because 50-50, why not? Let's do it. Sure.
I was asking, I didn't know.
No, you're good. You're good.
Okay. All right. So I need a hero.
Hero or honor.
Hero or honor? Or honor. Okay. Does my necklace help me in this?
You do have advantage.
Okay. There we go. Here's an honor.
There it is. And yeah, it's entirely one of those, as you kind of reach forward to it, there is this writhing, unlike when Duke Brown retrieved his arcana from his mother. This time it's not the arcana trying to stay with the host. You can sense and feel that the spurned girl who's been pressured so hard to emulate you is trying to hold on to what she is seeing as her only thing of power in her life. What do you say in this moment to either shock her into letting go or convince her to let go.
Oh gosh. Okay. I'm caught between Felicity's her want to like she has a big heart, so she really very much wants to help people and like nurture them, but she also has this nasty side to her that like can come out, and it's definitely out right now because like this like how like the nerve
How
of this
dare you,
how dare
audacity.
you how dare you like I like the hours that I put into, and how dare you take something from someone else that
Right.
wasn't earned. And
That's why I'm giving you the opportunity to choose how does Felicity.
She's 19. Okay. She's 19. She's not gonna make gracious choices all the time.
Mean girl.
She's just I'm gonna take the mask off.
She is. You just see angry tears streaking down, ruining makeup.
I just slap her.
Yeah, you do.
Just slap her.
Yeah, you do.
Boom.
Okay. Question.
Okay.
Forehand, backhand.
I think it's backhand.
Yeah, it is. And it is. It sounds like a gunshot. It's just this audible crack. And yeah, no, because this is a genteel lady. She's never been struck.
Yeah, I just grab her chin and like force her to look at me. How dare you? You dishonor everything that is music. You think you can steal something? Your misery does not excuse your bad behavior. Poorly done. Very poorly done. You've not earned this place. You've not earned your right to be here. You've stolen it.
The combination of these hard truths, because again, this is as much as she's been pushed, this is a very coddled individual. The truths of the world have not been made clear to them. So the combination of the smack and your firm words have kind of, you see like a light leaving, like that fire of like how the fire of just indignity just fading out as the Arcana almost like desperately almost pulls around up and over and settles around your shoulders as almost like a cloak.
Okay. Like it.
And it is just this burnished. It's as it flows up, you see it's kind of taking from it's keeping that metallic sheen, but it's shifting from brass to. It's very similar to the color of your father's wedding band from your mother that he still wears to this day. Mm-hmm. It is a burnished gold. It is worn, but warm, and there's a life to it. As it kind of settles around, and you see the inside of it is this beautiful, deep hunter's green that kind of just settles around your shoulder.
I take that. And how's she looking now?
She is not like she's there. She's still conscious. She looks completely hamstrung, which she is. She's still held down by the chains. And you see that she's stopped resisting and she's just kind of slumped there at this point.
I'm just gonna release the chains and look at her and say, I'm sorry that you're compared to me for so long. It's a terrible thing. But I cannot forgive what you've done to Elizabeth. It's awful. It's wretched. Just go home.
And she gets up, and she doesn't run, but it's a very lidless, almost pointless walk out and down the back. You can tell that she lost something in this. Something through this exchange. And you're not quite sure what it was.
Well, there's still starlings around, right?
There are still starlings around.
Yeah, she's like, well, I have other things to deal with.
Constellations. Right, there are other things to deal with. Speaking of constellations, Duke Brown.
Yes.
Your favoriteest constellation.
Yes.
You're going to be... I'm just imagining once this is all over, you just look at the sky, you see Sagittarius here and go, you again. You.
Because I'm on the lower level because I jumped down, right?
Yeah, you jump down with your chain sword.
And where is he now too? Where is he again? Is he still?
So you jump down after he,
Mm-hmm.
you knocked him down. You jump down after him. So he's down in front of you. He kind of forces himself back up, and you can see that he is ready for another round.
I want to let him go first and counter it with the
Cool.
with the chainsaw. So I'm gonna kind of just kind of and I want to commit. I want to kind of pretend put myself in a certain way, to make it seem like he's gonna have an advantage, and then last second kind of
So we're going for a
chainsaw.
thing.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. So yeah, you adopt this very almost lackadaisical stance. And it's this you have that kind of that motion, that roll to you that to an experienced human fighter would make them nervous. But you fought, especially Sagittarius. Now, you specifically have fought Sagittarius enough times to know that these things don't process information like humans do. They just react to the image in front of them. And he does. You see him swing his arm and come in for a strike on you. Go ahead, and since we're going for Romeo dueling.
Okay.
Actually, so for the counter, are you trying to outmaneuver? Yes, I was asking. Are you trying to outmaneuver, or are you just trying to do a hard counter?
I think outmaneuver. I feel like.
Okay, that'd be a faux.
Okay. Okay. Oof. And I'm rolling. So I'm gonna have a D6. But I need at least a 3, 4, or 5. So let's see. And that is a 5.
Yeah, it is. So yeah, you go in and he goes for the strike, and again, you use that almost very lackadaisical, that very loose stance to just, you don't even really move your feet. You just roll your body just a little bit, and you're able to go for a pin using the chain sword, and you have him now locked down hard. He can't. You were able to skewer through the bow of his integrated arm and through in behind one of his knees. He cannot move without sacrificing the limb at this point.
You're much easier to give up now, please. I mean, I'm sick of this. You're sick of this. We're both sick of this. So, come on, just be done, please. And I'll just kind of keep him pinned there until my turn. Just keep him kind of pinned there, or try
Perfect.
to.
Right. Miss Douglas,
Yes.
I believe you were cooking a crab last we
Yeah.
left off.
Yeah, I was squaring off with a crab, and after seeing it regrow its leg, it just crab hammered off. I had noted the plates were sort of separating in it
Yep.
during movement.
You see that there were separations, and the overall, especially across the very thick chest piece, is a little bit thinner than it was. It seems that it's not just a regrowing, it's having to move material to reform.
Well, looks like if we're going to be friends, I'm going to have to break you out of your shell. And I change up my stance. I wish one of the bladed guys was with me, but she thinks about, because a fact about Beatrice and why she always has a secret pocket in her skirts is she is never out of her home without her ceremonial dirk that she was told to always carry but never draw unless necessary. It is now necessary.
So with it being necessary, you actually do feel a little bit of a weight. Which leg do you have your dirk strapped to?
Well, with it being basically a dagger, it'd be the hand that needs to reach it to it most would be on my left leg.
Okay, so yeah, you feel that weight on your left thigh. If you need it.
Yeah. Quick flourish, reach underneath and as I move about, trying to get a better position and flourish out my dirk.
Yeah, you have your dirk.
Okay. So yeah, she goes from that more hop in boxer stance to now a more dagger up, not quite claymore position yet, but very much more bladed, ready to dance around. And she's going to sort of feint him out, flourish it up and over before coming back in and stabbing forward.
Roll me a footwork for that.
Okay. Work. I am a Ronin. I roll a d6, so I need 3 to 5. Which I got a 5.
Yeah. So yeah, you bait him in for the attack, and you see another one of these very devastating. You don't want to get hit by one of these crab hammers as it comes down, cracking through the chairs and straight into the floorboards, right down to the support beams. As you go in and you see your mark, and you disable again, and you see him do the same thing. He takes the other hammer, cracks it off, reforms. Now, time for the counts. You guys were scoring off against Gemini.
Yeah.
And really kind of kicking Gemini's ass last we left off.
Yeah, I believe they reformed together, right? Because they were separate before.
So yeah, they kind of just, because you guys kind of separated them, and they're at this point now where they've kind of smacked back together, and you now see what was 2 is now 1 form with 4 arms. You do see that the arms is still kind of following that idea of opposite and reverse, but you now see that each arm has a blade. So even with that opposite reverse, this is now a little bit of a different fight.
You want to go first?
Sure. As I'm just I would dare not be caught dead with twins. But in the storming spring, that's another story. As I'm fully transformed, with if I may take a little moment to kind of describe, because we described in the last session in this kind of knightly armor. I very much see 2 pauldrons that are kind of go down the length of the arm, but of the 2 opposing arcanas. One is of a horse, another is of an alligator, both mirroring the appropriate weapons, and the kind of buckler shield that I had is now more of like a kite
Heater,
yeah,
a kite shield, perfect.
kite shield, and very much has like the very traditional like kind of like knight like helm. And I'm gonna use this Storm Spring lance and see if I can shoot some lightning at them.
Yeah, you do. So, okay, do me a favor. Roll your dueling.
And I am the Hussar, and I'm rolling a d8. Okay, that's a 4. That does it.
Yeah, that does hit for a dueling.
Yeah.
So you're still learning how to use this lance. And as you kind of get yourself set up for your charge, the entire tip of it starts to spin. Kind of from where your hand is, it kind of goes over your hand. The entire point starts to spin, and as it does, you can hear this popping sound as slowly this arc of electricity builds around the outside, kind of settling into these chambers that you didn't realize was inside of the head of the lance. As it starts to glow, outlining the scales of the alligator. As you go, you see almost like how your brother's trident would open and close. The lightning opens up and snaps on Gemini, discharging all of this power as you shoot past. And with a flick of your wrist, just this power runs through and just immobilizing and freezing Gemini. Count Blackwood, you have advantage on whatever you're about to do.
I can't remember if we discussed it. If we wanted to go up to our next card, is that like a whole action in itself, or is it just kind of like, part of like the transformation that you're going to do with the move?
So, at this point, armoring up is its own action.
Okay, well then I will hold off on that. Because he set up perfectly for me to do something. All right, so seeing him paralyzed, Cowboy Count here looks at him, draws out both the guns, spins them around, and then he charges forward. They turn into sabers, and he's going to then slash, like multiple slashes, leap back, and as he's leaping back, spin the swords into guns, and then unload on the guy.
Let's see how much you're able to do.
It's the Owl's Gambit. It's called the Owl's Gambit. That's one of his moves here.
Roll me your dueling.
All right.
Roll me your dueling.
Advantage. That's a 10, baby, because I'm at advantage.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. Hey, yeah, the Owl's Gambit works perfectly. And it's that perfect transition of in close, and then during that backflip off of the attack, that flourish into the pistols as you will just unload, and you guys see for a moment there nothing happens, and then these cracks start forming along Gemini's body. As they do, a lone wolf howl echoes through the walls.
And I just kind of tilt my helmet, like the hat on my helmet, towards my fellow Count here. I just picture like this thing where you like zip in, do your thing, and as you're doing it, I zip in, and just like this combination of like a super finisher kind of thing on him.
Yeah, it's totally me just like holding him down with like the lance, and you just come in.
Oh,
and
better yet, we land and we're looking away from him, and we just hear him cracking behind us, and we just kind of like to the screen.
Yeah.
I love that.
Explosion, swiping the lance to the side.
So Beatrice, especially, you remember this fucking wolf, this dog's mewling.
Mm-hmm.
Which as the Dark Wolf Arcana Ranger.
She's very much just rolling her eyes.
Yeah,
Do we see this as well, or is it just?
Oh no! You guys hear the clapping coming from up above, kind of the opposite side from where the box you were sharing with Goodfellow was, Beatrice.
Mhm.
Opposite side of that same level. You see, just sitting, feet dangling over the ledge, as he pushes himself off and lands to the ground. And as he does, you see from the shadows, sets of eyes open up as a number of wolves made of shadows come stalking out from around him. Felicity,
Yes.
you turn and you kind of, I'm assuming you've kind of dispelled that golden wall of
Yeah, I
music
let her
with you.
go and I just like go home. And then
So
I
you,
swoosh my cape behind me.
as you turn and swoosh, you see that the new black Dark Arcana Ranger, the Wolf One, is walking out of the shadows with a number of shadowy wolves kind of at his heels. You do see that everyone kind of seems to have the zodiac, the constellations kind of fairly well handled, and there aren't that many just loose starlings left at this point, when all's said and done.
Okay.
But that ranger might be a problem.
Okay. Well, I think she can clock that this is Beatrice's fight. So you you just see like the wolf guy on one end and then Beatrice on the other, Felicity in the middle, and she's like, okay, well. So she's like, well, it's time to pass the baton. And she is going to start playing Vivaldi's Summer.
Good
And
choice.
so she begins to play this, and as there's runs, these golden ribbons come out from her and start to like just dance around Beatrice so that she can be enabled to fight at her greatest potential. So I'm trying to buff Beatrice.
Nice.
So what is that?
Go ahead and roll me an etiquette, because that's kind of our go-to magic stat for you.
It's a hero.
Even better. So this is very similar to the last time you've done something like this before for Beatrice. You know, Beatrice, the world is a stage for you again. And it's a very safe assumption that you kind of know that if you walk away from cancer, one of the boys will pick up taking care of cancer for you. It's a pretty straightforward thing at this point, or when we get that far. You are kind of in that kind of same place you were back during the gun show. Now then, Duke Brown. You do have Sagittarius locked down. Do you wish to just dispatch him and move on? Do you what do you want to do?
I'll leave that decision up to him. Like, I'm giving the opportunity just to get to leave. So if he makes a move to attack, then finish it. But if he may make a dumb decision, but that's how Patrick is. So yeah, he'll leave that decision up to Sagittarius.
So roll me an etiquette.
Okay. And
Because
that's advantage because I think I
see
have.
if
Okay.
you have an etiquette. I want to see if, with the amount of interactions you've had with Sagittarius, if Sagittarius can kind of pick up on the choice you're giving it.
Darn. Well, that is a 6. I mean, Hero, I don't know if the hero's gonna help in this. I look so dashing.
Hero. So,
2
so,
6s.
No, you're so. Oh, double hero, even better.
Mhm.
So your hero means what you're trying to do works, even from an etiquette perspective. What you're doing is, part of it is just that force of your presence when you're transformed, and your Duke Brown has always kind of struck me as a very, even though he doesn't always present it, is a very empathetic person.
Mm-hmm. And you see this too when I look at him. I kind of give him like the whole like I don't have like you see my little corners kind of going a little fake breeze and I just give him the look, just like
the smolder.
Little smolder. Mm-hmm.
And it's that moment where you kind of feel Sagittarius just kind of going a little limper. And you can almost... So, outside of very specific scenarios, you've never heard one of these things talk before, except for one time. You can kind of get the feeling that Sagittarius is about sick of the song and dance as you are. Sagittarius doesn't really want to keep doing this. And something about this interaction is making Sagittarius realize that it might actually have a choice in all of this.
I gotta tell him like I know it's hard, but you do have a choice, so that's why I'm giving you the decision, because it's your choice, no one else's.
As you say that, you kind of see Sagittarius nod and detangle itself and back away without attacking you. And you see, as it turns to go, it freezes. And you see kind of this jerky motion as if something is controlling its limbs. And you hear Celestor's voice kind of echoing through, Now, you can't go letting my toys believe they have a willingness. They're mine after all. And you hear a snap echoing through. Gemini re-solidifying itself as this sickly green glow fills the cracks, trapping the escaping starlight and pulling any kind of ambient light into it. Sagittarius cricking and cracking as it's trying to resist whatever Celestor is doing.
Could I try to help somehow? I mean, I don't know if I can see anything. I mean, so I see getting pulled in.
So,
do I see like the string that's or the connection at all, or no?
So for just a moment, through the cracks in the wall and through the moonlight, you see what almost looks like the reflection of a puppet string. Just for a moment, and then it's gone.
Could I make a swing? I know it's wild. I know I had to move. Could I make a swing? I'm at a disadvantage. Could I try to make a...
You have to, and this isn't even like, oh, it's going to be knocked out because you're going to go, haha. No, this is a disadvantage roll.
Mm-hmm.
There is no reroll with the Queen's favor on this. This is a one shot.
Okay, bet.
And you don't just need to hit your dueling, you need to hit your hero.
Okay. So we both have to be heroes then, right? There has to be 2 heroes on Ice 2.
It has to be 2 heroes for that. Because what you're trying to do is this is stuff a legend stuff right here.
Oh no. No, it's not. Darn it. But I tried.
You did. And you see there's enough of Sagittarius there that at least part of Sagittarius knows that you tried to help it. I'm giving you that much. You know that this action is going to have consequences in the long run. As just within Cancer, Gemini, and Sagittarius, this almost what we would know as radioactive, sickly green glow kind of emanates from within them. I'm quite tired of the lot of you stealing my toys.
They're in toys, that's a problem.
You could just give up and stop playing. You're obviously not very good at this game.
Yes, and they were never yours to begin with.
Oh, the
I'm
stress
rather
of
quite
losing
tired of
them.
my show being interrupted. I just like brush my skirt a bit.
So, with that, Beatrice,
Mm-hmm.
what are you doing?
Yeah, so seeing my rival finally joining the show, I just give a very light pat to Cancer. I'm like, all right, partner switch. And I dance around him, and I kind of want to hop up onto the backing of the chairs that still remain within the show floor and start
Okay.
like basically stalking my way, watching the wolves when I'm just in my head. We're now like getting to the circling thing.
Yeah, and they've kind of spread out, and you can tell they're kind of trying to circle you into where it's just you and Farley.
Mm-hmm. Still, I got my dirk now available in hand, but I'm going to be measuring Farley, ready to just maneuver out in case one of the wolves decide to turn and snap.
And you see he is standing there. He has his rapier out. He seems to be waiting for you.
Finally going to be a gentleman with me.
Well, someone has to teach you your proper ways.
Certainly won't be you. And then I do a quick jump off from the back of the chair as I focus in on my magic power as a temperance and being in between worlds. And there's just this like veil of like doubling up of shadows behind me, because Black Ranger versus Black Ranger, you don't get fucking shadow wolves. I'm gonna come at you. And just this double up of like veiled Beatrice, and then there's just falls off into feathers as I scoop around and ready to go for.
Roll me a footwork.
Yeah, I will. With the power that Felicity bestowed unto me, that is a hero.
Yes, it is. As you do, you kind of hit this hero, and kind of part of that hero is you see that when one of those wolves tries to make a leap at you, there's this little flash of silver in the shadow, followed by a pair of violet eyes that kind of stops the wolf from being able to get too far. As you go in and you don't sucker punch, you take a chunk out of Farley's side. He was not ready for you to be able to hit him as hard as you did.
Going for the pressure
see him
point.
stumble, yep. You see him kind of stumble a little bit from it. Quite a toad. And you see him just hold down just a wild slash towards you. Go ahead and you can either tank it or roll forward to try to dodge it. Your choice.
I'll dodge.
Okay.
I'm a speedy lady.
Yes, you are.
This will be footwork again.
Yes, it will.
I rolled hero again.
Yeah, not even close.
Yeah.
Not even close.
I dance around and be like, Duke Farley, the problem is you're trying to treat me like I'm a lady, but I'm a queen.
Yeah, you are. Slay, queen, slay.
Imagining the
All right.
red hair underneath the mask just.
I'm imagining I don't think the mask can contain all of the red hair.
There's so
Let's all be honest. There's so much of it. I think it's just this poof of red hair on the back of the mask. All right, for the counts. Now there are now two arcana. There are now two constellations. Cancer no longer has somebody covering it. You guys saw Beatrice break off to go after Farley. Who wants to keep on Gemini? Who wants to go after Cancer?
charge after.
I imagine it's like going rock, paper, scissors, shoot. And then
Back in the States, we have this way of settling decisions.
Rock, paper, scissors?
Whichever one you want.
Yeah, I can go after Cancer.
Perfect. We'll go ahead and we'll start with you then, Cadman. So yeah, and kind of because you guys are actually really in sync for this. You see the second that Beatrice kind of makes that move towards Farley, you know that you're the one to cover Cancer.
Yeah, and I'm just like, the queen should not be without her knight, and I'm gonna charge forward.
Roll
Yeah, with
me,
like,
so,
yeah, I'm gonna be charging forward with my lance like a crack of thunder.
yeah, you are. Go ahead and roll me a dueling.
Okay, that's a 5. That does it.
Oh yeah, and yeah, you've kind of.
The one.
Were you watching Beatrice's previous encounters with Cancer at all, or were you just solely focused on Gemini?
I think I was fully
Pretty focused. Okay.
Focused.
So
on
yeah,
Gemini.
you kind of see kind of the same thing that Beatrice did. You hit right in one of the weak, like the weak points are not hidden on Cancer. This giant armored hulking figure with these 2 massive hammers. And you skewer one of the joints and you hear something inside of there snap. And as you follow through and as you kind of slide around, you see it take its other hammer, bash off the limb, and the limb will reform and pick up the hammer again. As it just turns slowly, focusing on you.
Ah, neat trick. As I just kind of rest my lance on top of my shield.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do. Perfect. Count Blackwood.
Well, it looks like I'll be a dance partner for both of you. So, and then he'll just pull both blades out and just start cutting and fighting this thing.
Roll dueling for me. Okay, so actually, question: are you going for damage, or are you going for just keeping it contained right now?
Oh, damage! He's trying to damage this thing. We need to
Perfect,
get these
dueling.
things down so we can, clear the area out. I rolled a 7, which is exactly what I need on
Yep.
dueling.
Yeah,
I
that's
have a
what you
3 and a
need.
7.
Yep.
Thank God for
Yep.
advantage.
Thank God for advantage. So yeah, you do, and you are. It's again with how the coverage of the forearms working in tandem works. It's not a lot of damage, but you are whittling down on the.
I imagine what I do
damage
is
of this thing.
I focus on one side with a set where I use one blade to try to force it to go a certain way, so I can use my second blade to cut in, spin, and then do something similar on the other side to force its movements into a position I want to where I can hit.
Yeah, and it's one of those things where you're able to do it, but you can also tell it's kind of figuring out your trick.
Mm-hmm.
You don't know if you can pull that same kind of combo for much longer on it.
That's all right. That's why I have 2 guns as well, and then I can switch to gun and sword, and we can just keep going back and forth. Let's go.
You are the most adaptable fighter here for this. That makes a lot of sense. All right, let's go ahead, and that pulls us back around the horn to Felicity.
Okay. What is Badrick doing? Because it looks like Count Cavendish is, and Cadman's doing pretty good. Beatrice is doing pretty good, and it looks like Arthur is doing pretty good.
So you see that Sagittarius, you saw Sagittarius starting to walk away from Duke Brad
Okay.
before Celestor's
Voice
spiel.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and you see that Sagittarius is still kind of trying to fight a little bit, but is not able to beat Celestor's will as it kind of is forced back into, and is now raising its bow back up to take another strike at Badrick from about a mid-distance on that.
You can tell Patrick's dying heavily, just like a really dramatic side of this. Like you can just tell. You would know.
Okay. She'll try to wrap up Sagittarius, try to like trip him up with some I don't think we did solfeggiato last time. So we're gonna, yeah. So she's gonna pull that out, which is pretty anxious. She's gonna start playing that to try to trip up Sagittarius, make him second guess himself, and just all around not perform as well.
Perfect. No, makes sense to me. And yeah, this kind of is echoing back to what the Bronze Ranger was trying to do when you shut her down all of the way. You know, the proper way of using magic to harm, for lack of a better term. So yeah, go ahead and roll me a footwork on that one, actually.
That's a hero.
Yeah. So yeah. And it's not just that you're able to do that. You can kind of see, Badger, from where you're at, you can actually kind of see this flickering of this baleful green light isn't sticking all of the way. You might be able to get Sagittarius out of this. All right. That brings us over to Badger, actually. So yeah, you're up.
I'll go for Felicity really quickly, just like give her like a little, just like a little, a little nod, just like
thanks, boo.
My mouth like I love you, just like some real cheese, just like and then I'm going to attempt to so yeah, I want to just like free or knock him out, you know what I mean? I don't want to, so I want to kind of, if I see the glow start, I want to see if I can break him fully out. So if that means that like knock it out of him, you know what I mean, or knock him back into himself, so to speak. Okay. But yeah.
Okay, so yeah, so are you waiting for him to see what he's doing in this moment? So are you trying to just knock sense into him?
Yes, I'll try to talk sense into him because Badger's definitely talking more than the by herself.
So do me a favor, if you're wanting to talk sense, roll me an etiquette. Okay. And tell me what you want to say.
Okay. I have advantage just because of the amount of favorites that I have. So
yeah. So Queen's Favor is the primary currency that the Rangers all have access to. It allows them to do a number of things, including re-rolling, doing things for their Machina and their Colossus form, and also re-rolling on occasion.
Which I may spend to re-rolling now. I got a 1 and a 4, so I got my honor, but I don't know if like, I'm just talking.
You know what?
Spin it, like.
So I think that the aspect of freedom with Badrick and self-determination, especially with what's been happening within Badrick's own life, I will give you your honor in this one. I will give you your honor, but it will cost you a Queen's Favor.
Okay. Ooh, I like that. Okay. Yeah. Right. Bet we'll do it.
Cool. So yeah, what is it that you say to Sagittarius? Because you can see that Sagittarius is not winning the fight, but is fighting hard enough that Celestor doesn't have full control.
It's going to sound silly, but you just gotta believe in yourself. You just gotta believe. Only you can control you. No one else gets the right to do that. It's gonna be hard. It's gonna hurt, but you can break away from him.
And there is this cracking sound as you can see that there's the one arm that's integrated, the other one's a normal hand. You see that the other hand has stopped glowing green entirely at this point as it reaches, and you can see that kind of these flashes of green are trying to reach up, but it's not able to stop as it takes hold of this mask, tears it off, and just pure starlight bathes out as Sagittarius you see an image of just this very Centaurian archer in the light. As someone who uses light, and is used to hiding in light. This moment of clarity for you has allowed you to see the truth of what Sagittarius is supposed to be. This figure that is supposed to be showing the way and is supposed to be giving guidance and wisdom and shooting to the truth of a matter. You see that this is Sagittarius outside of the confines of the form that Celestor has forced it into. And it's there just for a moment as the rest of the body cracks like stained glass falling away and the stars return to the heavens.
Guys like Logan's kind of nod, like, all right, now get back to being less like you're supposed to. And look back to the fight and kind of see, I think probably Beatrice, going at it. So just kind of turn my head to that.
Yeah. And Beatrice, you're going at it.
Yeah. Yeah. I think Beatrice does not let a stumble go unpunished. She's a fighter,
100%.
a prize fighter. She cannot let that go.
No.
So when he recoils from that hard strike, she goes back in, like keeping basically like within like almost too close to comfort, probably. And
so you're using the length of your dirk to your advantage and getting inside of his square.
Yeah. And I almost force it into a tango, because him being a rapier user, he's used to the front and back. Is like, all right, let's really dance, as someone has showed me, and force him into a tango as I want to, at the point where he's most uncomfortable, strike him in the back of the leg to make him kneel.
So yeah, go ahead and roll me, because again, this is a lot of maneuvering. Roll me a footwork.
It's what I do. Well, it's a 1, but I can use a queen's favor.
You can reuse the queen's favor for the reroll.
Yeah.
I would not give you your honor on that.
No. Which I did roll a 4. How many reroll?
Hey, 4 gets it. And yeah, it is... He gets a couple of hits in on you. This is not a bloodless process on your end. And you realize while he has the rapier, this man is he is combat trained. He almost uses aspects of almost like saber dueling within the rapier for the more side work. So he's able to block his sides better than most people who just use the rapier are able to. But yeah, you're able to sneak that hit in, and he stumbles, but he does not kneel. And you see him kind of hitting that stance strong, and this time I need you to roll me a vigor.
Okay.
As you see him turn, and you realize that for the first time he has something in his offhand as he goes to drive it into you.
Sneaky man. And this is one hard for me to hit because I have to roll 5 or 6. Oh, okay, I rolled a 5.
Yeah, and you were able to shift right in time as you see that he has a stiletto in his offhand, the thin, narrow. If you're going to be pairing a blade with a rapier, this is the one that you pair it with. And it has a larger guarding crossguard on it. This is a matched set. But yeah, you're able to kind of just with barely in time, you're able to kind of knock it away. And he does cut you. He does draw blood.
Mm-hmm.
And when he does, you feel an ache from where he cut you. And a little bit of a burn is seeping through your...
I start swearing in Gaelic. Shameful.
A gift from my benefactor.
I was about to not wish to punch him in the face, but now I'm definitely going to wish to punch him in the face.
You know, as he just smirks. You can tell he's smirking through his mask. You know.
I hate your stupid smirk.
So, you now have disadvantage on your footworks as this slowly seeping poison is affecting you.
Okay.
Cadman, you have a crab to cook.
I do, and cook I shall. I am going to.
Oh, he cooking.
Yeah, we're definitely going to be cooking. I'm going to be going straight in, straight forward, as a knight should, and try to skewer him with the lance and try to electrocute him from the inside.
Okay, so are you aiming to like break the chest plate or like go through the helmet? Like what are you trying to hit? Where exactly are you trying to hit him?
Probably through the chest plate.
Okay, if you're trying to break the chest plate, I need a vigor roll from you, my dude.
Okay.
Because this is just a brute force
Yeah.
punching a hole.
Shish kebab, shish kebab.
That is. Yeah, that's not going to do it. I'm going to use a Queen's Favor to reroll.
Yeah, you are.
Let's go, hero. Come on now. Come on.
Come on.
Hero.
Ugh. Man, these 2s and 3s. Not doing it for me.
You still get a chance, though.
So yeah, go ahead and take your mark and roll. You could always bounce back.
Yep.
So just because a ranger fails at an attempt the first time does not mean that they necessarily failed at doing the thing. Whenever a fail happens, they get something called a mark of peril. Whenever they get the mark of peril, they get a chance to clear all of the marks of peril that they have. The goal is to roll at or above the number of marks of peril they have. If they roll the number, they clear their marks and they actually succeed in what they're trying to do. If they roll over that number, they're still in the scene and they're still fine. If they roll under the number, they are forced to leave the scene because they are affected by the vapors.
I rolled an 8, so that does not clear it, but we're still good.
Man, we wish we had that 8 in the last roll.
Yep, I was just thinking that. I was like, oh.
So yeah, you, and I think what this is you hit him square in the chest. The armor is thicker than you thought it was. And especially juiced up on whatever it is Celestor did, you weren't expecting the hammer to come down and smack you silly. And you can kind of, you have your shield, thankfully.
Yeah.
And it takes most of the blow, but it rattles you. You can tell from the damage around it why Beatrice was trying to dodge these hits so hard, so much. You don't know if you want to get hit again by this thing. There's an ache in your arm where you're holding the shield, because that amount of force was still passed into you. De-hensioning might not be fun for you tonight.
Yep.
All right, AP.
Seeing that this thing is now overpowered by Celestor stuff and my attacks didn't do as much to it as I hoped it would, I'm going to take my turn to
Armor up.
armor up to the new one.
Oh, you got it, man, you bastard. Yeah, I love it. So,
and when I do this, I will say this, that the trench coat, the sleeveless trench coat that I have kind of thing with this, it's black, but all of a sudden you see feather outlines in it, like that look like owl feathers, like in the design of it as it goes. And then there's one of the arms, my left arm, the sleeve grows all the way down, and then you see underneath the ranger suit itself starts to get scales that look like a snake's scales on the thing, as the mask kind of shifts from the owl to more of a serpent, still owl-ish, but there's more of a serpent look to the visor. Yeah, so that's what I'll say.
Your collar also pops more, and
Yeah.
it gives you almost like that
Cobra.
Cobra Hood appearance, not to like a ridiculous degree, but just
Yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
pop gives it the illusion of it. As that crimson line of that crimson snake that you had before, there's now another one that's matching from the other side. So you now have this full intrication of the deep red with the purple and the black of you already. As you just you feel knowledge pouring into you.
And I'll say out loud for Celestor to hear. It's gonna be fun breaking 2 of your toys. It's like a 2-for-1 special. And obviously I can't attack because that was my turn.
Yep.
Up.
That's your turn. But yeah, you are set. Go ahead and
Bogo.
Bogo. That's great. Felicity.
Hi. So I see Cadman go and take a blow. So she's going to.
He got smacked.
He got smacked. Oh, well, that won't do. So she will turn to Cadman and start to play Mozart's Eine kleine Nacht music. Say, brother, please, I've seen you do better than that. As a means to enable his skills. I'm trying to buff him. Okay, yeah, because I imagine that's a piece that they would just goof off to. Okay, that's a 2. So
that is an etiquette. So yeah, you get it.
Roll. Perfect. Actually, that's a hero.
Hey.
Because I have advantage. So
yeah, in that case, this is again one of those things where for Cadman, yeah, as you hear kind of this song that you've goofed around for years with your sister to, kind of reestablishing the connection the two of you have, that you realize you might want to check in on your sister once this is all said and done. You haven't talked to your sister in a while. Might not be a bad idea.
Just a little bit.
Yeah, maybe just this might not be. But as this light of your relationship and your connection with your sister fills you, it also connects you to Cecil and Clovis. And, you are Count Cadman Cavendish. And this will not fucking do. How dare you, you damn crab! You do have advantage on whatever you're going to be trying to do again. As we go over to Duke Brown.
So who's closest next to me? So I know.
So closest next to you at this point. Farthest at this point would be Farley and Beatrice, because they're on the other side of the hall.
That's fine. Beatrice would kill me if I try to get in the way, so that's fine. We're good.
I don't know. The poison might change that a little bit.
I couldn't see that the right because I was watching them. Yeah, I couldn't see that from my distance too far.
You would have seen her get cut.
But I wouldn't know poison because I don't think she showed anything. Yeah.
Yeah, until she starts moving this next round, you probably wouldn't know. But yeah, you see her get cut, but she's fine. She's Beatrice. You see Cadman get smacked, because Cadman and AP are kind of equidistant from you from where you're currently at. AP might be a little bit closer, but he seems to have a firmer hand on Gemini than Cadman has on Cancer.
Sure. Well,
sharks eat crabs.
Yeah, exactly. That's also really good. Yep, sometimes you gotta feed. So when I smell blood in the water, so yeah, take a scent, and I'm gonna go. It's gonna get bit, so I'm gonna try to at least.
Roll me your dueling with your chainsword.
And that is a 5.
That's a dueling. As you kind of go in and you Describe how you come in for this strike. Is
Like
it
a shark. So
stealthy
instead of
strike? Oh, yeah.
no, because like the chameleon, like it's going more shark. Shark's like the beeline, like you smell blood, just like
Yeah.
bam, it's on in a second. So
So, and this is actually a, like, because the chameleon strikes are very precise, very direct, and
this is more rough.
Yeah, this is a forceful thing.
Like a
and
bite. This is just going.
Yeah, and as you go in and you hit that contact, these teeth start spinning along the blade, tearing into the crab, and his regeneration is not keeping up with how much you're tearing into him.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, Cadman, you have advantage on this next. You had advantage already. You have advantage on this next attack. You're gonna smack him. But before we get to that,
yeah, that's not a cabinet too. Just like get him.
Beatrice.
Yeah. So I take a solid stance, but as I do, I feel like with my heartbeat, my muscles spasm as the poison's starting to take effect and slow me down or whatever else it's doing. So I gotta change my tactic. And if someone's gonna make me bleed, I'm gonna make use of it. So I just sort of wipe a thumb across one of the cuts. Like just spread it on my own blade and channel whatever power that I've had into me into my blade.
Okay.
Blood magic can be dangerous, but I'm pissed and need to finish this before I pass out.
Okay. No, I'm down for it. So, how much are we willing to risk on a gamble?
I will give up 2 Queen's Favors.
To put him down?
Yeah.
Roll me your dueling.
What die do I want to roll?
The
This
one
one's
that rolls
pretty.
good.
Yeah, this one's pretty. It's like a glow-in-the-dark one. Works for us shadowy people.
What did we talk about pretty dice earlier?
I know, but this one did well before. It gave me a hero before, so let's go. Dueling?
Let's go. Dueling.
You got this.
Dueling hero.
Oh, but it's a 4.
But it's a 4, which is a dueling.
Yeah.
So. There is a connection now between you, this blade, the blade that poisoned you, Farley, and Celestor. Because this is all now point of connection. And bending rules. And playing outside of rules. As you go, and where do you plant this strike on Farley?
As much as he may be striking at her to kill, Beatrice doesn't kill. She just puts down. So when she goes, initially looks like she's about to blade first across his neck, but turns the pommel to strike it in the pressure point right in the neck.
Okay. So yeah, and as you do, a couple of things happen. One, most importantly, there is no bounce back on you. Because if you kill using blood magic, bad things can happen to you.
Yeah.
So, smart move. But there is this pulse as your blood is burnt off of the blade. And Gemini and Cancer freeze and shatter as Farley collapses to the ground, and this sound of the heavens screaming in pain echoes through all of your ears as the wolves that were with Farley converge on him, swallowing him down, and there is nothing, leaving the 5 of you in this wreckage of a concert hall.
Now I didn't know that's how.
And
what was that noise?
Beatrice,
Mm-hmm.
as you collapse, you feel caught by a familiar set of arms who is just shaking his head looking down at you. As you guys see the figure that Beatrice had come to this event with, catching her, this very old school, like 2 centuries out of style, provincial black opera coat that has these very beautiful brass and enameled metals kind of interlaced throughout it, kind of matching the style that Beatrice came in with her gown, kind of holding her as he scoops her up, and you guys see as he turns, purple eyes.
Oh,
Is Beatrice? We saw Beatrice collapse, right? Like we can't.
You saw her stumble,
Okay.
and the stumble was going into a collapse, but she was caught.
And I'm no longer pinned by cancer, correct?
No, cancer's gone.
yeah, everything's gone.
Yeah.
Everything, yeah.
Ground, is it all clear?
It's all clear.
And there's no people, right?
Yeah,
Or the people.
there are no
for-
people. There are no people. From what you guys can see, there are no people.
I wouldn't power down yet. You never know.
True. True.
Is Beatrice okay though? Did you guys see?
He'll be fine. You see, there, Beatrice, you feel him run a hand up your arm, and as you do, it's almost, you feel almost like the prick of a rose thorn. And then it's a very odd feeling. It's like the rose thorn is growing roots into your system just for a moment, clearing out and taking this poison and leaving behind this sense of relief as it's gone. As he sets you back down on the ground.
Does that sort of wake me up a bit?
A little bit.
Ow.
Don't get cut next time.
It was more of the poison than anything. I can handle a cut.
That doesn't mean I like seeing you cut. He says as he kind of like grumpily rearranges the fabric just a little bit as it kind of reforms around.
And payback for showing up hurt the other day.
Fair.
I'm gonna go over to Cadman.
I have to ask, is this how all your concerts go?
Not normally, but it's quite exciting. Maybe I should start throwing concerts that also include fighting arenas.
I was going to suggest that this could be a good thing that you two could combine.
Oh yes, we could have a
Yes.
concerto, and then I could have a battle going on while people bloody one another.
They sure do know how to crash a party.
Yes.
Ruin a party.
Well, where shall we go next?
Turn to the base of operations to discuss anything further.
I think that someone has a door that they need to go check out real quick.
Certainly.
Oh yes.
Yes, you notice her new cape that's golden and green, and she sort of flourishes a little bit.
I have a question. Do we see
It's
do we
swishy.
see your necklace too? Is your necklace still hidden or is it out?
The gems from before on your top part of your costume are still. Well, were you wearing the necklace when you transformed?
Yeah, she.
Then yeah, those gems were still there.
Since I'm currently in my ultimate mode, I just open a portal for us to go through. We don't have to go through.
And yeah, it's almost kind of scary for everyone watching. He just waves his hand, and just this perfect cut of the universe into the Blackwood tree.
Oh.
This is some Merlin shit.
And the Americans never cease to amaze.
Glad I oblige.
Walk through the portal.
Yes.
Oh.
I'll go through the portal.
I'll give Felicity my hand first. Walk her in there. So.
Yeah, she'll give you her hand. Sorry. We're good together.
Whose hand is this?
You don't want to know.
Sorry.
Before Beatrice walks through, I'll turn to her real quick before she walks through. I'll just tell her, "You are one deadly lady. I would never want to cross you. Nice way of taking a weakness and turning it into a boon."
Stupid way of taking the weakness and turning it into a boon. There's so many crystals in the wall. Goodfellow is just kind of grumbling to himself as he walks through the.
I'm quite impressed.
Sounds like an angry cat.
Especially right now with everything that I know.
It is very much angry, like peeved cat sounds coming from this fairly tall Grecian-looking gentleman walking through, and as he walks through, he is back into being good fun. Back to the cat.
I just tell you, after you, my queen.
All right, thank you. And she it's a bit slow because her muscles are recovering now and goes on through.
Yeah. The poison's not there. The effect of the poisons will take a little bit of time to recover.
Yeah.
So yeah, you guys are back in the Blackwood tree. Do we dehension?
Do you have to dehension to go through the door?
No one's tried it fully hensioned yet. You're more than welcome to try as you want.
I don't think she would. She just would think, well, I mean, to her, like, the henshin is more of like an extension of who she already is. So
Right.
like, it's a very like natural form for her to be in.
Right.
So she actually just doesn't even think about changing into like her old, like her not henshins. She doesn't think to
Right.
untransform. So
Right.
she's just like, well, I suppose I'll go try the duel. you goes over the
And you do. And you go, and the door, as with everyone else, when you turn it to the left, it's the sound of an ancient and heavy lock just breaking as you walk in.
Right. Okay. Look around.
And there, as you look around, you see that you are in it is a dancing studio with a mirrored wall before a practice room of some sort. And as you look, you see yourself in your henshin.
Mm-hmm.
And there is a Felicity Fairfax in a wedding gown, and a Felicity Fairfax in a ball gown, and a Felicity Fairfax in pants and a shirt with a vest over the top and, salted wind in the hair and a look of adventure. And they all say, "Who are we?"
So she looks at all of them and says,
Who do we want to be?
well, I don't see why I have to choose to be any of these things. I'm allowed to be complicated. I can fall in love. I can enjoy parties. and love to dance and sing. And I can also long for adventure. But as for now, I think who I want to be is someone who changes the world. And then she she's going to she'll take she'll take hands with all three of them and say, let us all be together. But no girl will have to choose to be a lesser version of themselves.
And you feel all of these hands kind of gripping yours, and as it the camera kind of spins around, it's you holding your own hands in front of you as you're looking in this reflection of the girl who you were before all of this. What is something you want to say to the you before you started to grow? She is confused. She seems happy.
Yeah.
But there's something missing to her. What is something you want to tell to this version of yourself that you're not anymore?
That she takes, is this like a reflection or like a person?
It is kind of both.
Okay, okay. I'm gonna take my younger self by the hands and say, we are not defined by the people around us. We are who we choose to be. And we can be great. And we can be marvelous. And we can bring joy to this world. We just have to believe that we can. So don't let anyone hold you back.
And there's this hopeful smile that spreads across her face as she kind of takes you by the hand and leads you into the mirror, which spreads around, and it is a cliff overlooking the sea.
Oh, she recognizes the Isle of Man.
It is the Isle of Man. You are on the Isle of Man. And playing in the waves, you see this emerald and brass sea otter frolicking and enjoying the adventure as it looms up now, again revealing just how massive these machina are, as it just bends its head down, and you can just see this massive weight, and it very just lightly presses its head against yours just for a moment before it pushes itself back into the water and sending this huge massive wave splashing on top, getting just about up to your knees wet as the water rolls away and splashes up against the door behind you.
She's gonna pick up her skirts and start running into the water after it. I'm gonna try to just catch the sea otter and play with it.
So yeah, we're gonna go ahead and we'll leave you there for a minute then. Everybody else. Felicity goes into the room. Felicity's in the room for a while. What's everyone else doing?
Like, not too long after probably bumping shoulders with Duke, Duke Brown and like AP, I'm just like, oh yes, this form is a little unwieldy, isn't it? Sorry. And just just in big like knight armor.
Yeah, it is. You are currently you are the largest figure in the room, including Grimm's Brook.
I think Beatrice just goes over, takes over one of the sofas so that when she dehensions, she can just lie down.
Yeah.
But she's like
100% makes sense.
muttering aloud to AP is like, if you haven't talked to them yet about those ruins, ask Grimbrook and Goodfellow.
Ruins? You see Goodfellow is kind of like, Goodfellow is still just kind of like nannying around you a little bit. As he just hears you say, and he looks over at you, AP. Ruins? Ruins? What do you need rune help with?
AP,
You're muted.
You're muted.
AP, we can't hear you. Spell.
AP is
spell.
not dehensioning. He does take his helmet off and lights up a cigarette while he's still henching. Just the helmet.
So as you go to take the helmet off, it just fades.
Okay, beautiful. And I just I'll light up a cigarette, and then I'll tell them what we know about the ruins, so they can tell us what they know. Hopefully.
Yeah, the dramatic ones. I read the other ones, but not the last ones.
You see him kind of look over at Grimsbrook, and Grimsbrook just sighs. How he looks over at you, AP, and goes, we'll regard those rooms later, sir.
They're live. Now, we should probably figure out what we're going to do about my cousin, because I'm sure that's the next move that Celestor plans to use.
Well, they want to make a spectacle of my ring, apparently, from what you've said. They want you in the ring.
Then let's give them a show, right?
I'm just wondering if I go in there dehensioned, if that'll give them an advantage. If I go in there henching, will I be able to deal with what they're doing? Because they may block my ability once I go in.
Is that worth the risk of everybody knowing who you are?
I wouldn't say it's worth the risk, but I'm just saying that if I go down, then the spell I have on this house to keep my beloved cousin out will fade, and then he will have access to here.
Not if you send someone else as the heir of House Blackwood.
No, worry not. We won't let you go down. We'll all be there beside you. If any.
And maybe we can make it so that it's only you two in there, you know, maybe we don't, so other people don't have to be in there as well. You know, less where they could be hurt.
Loves to play fair and by the rules. I'm sure if I went in there just alone, and he would probably send him in alone, but there would be some type of advantage.
Well, I mean, not alone. I mean, like, no people in general. I mean, just like no, because I know people like to watch these kind of fights, but it just hopefully can make sure.
I don't know if Celestor would let it happen that way.
He loves an audience, it seems.
He loves
he
crashing seat.
I say
He
it
likes
aloud, and I
taking
look
some...
up. Go ahead, sorry.
Go ahead.
As I look up and I say, well, he loves to lose in front of audiences.
Could we fake?
Grimbrook takes the book he's reading and bonks you on the back of the head of it. Don't antagonize the greater fate when you're still in competition with it.
Fair enough. I apologize.
I mean, this may be stupid.
Grimbrook sighs as he just flips the book back open again.
Could we perhaps just like fake a big gathering and a fight? I mean, I know it's kind of stupid. I know he's all powerful, or whatever, but I don't know.
Oh, he's not all powerful.
So then, well, if we fake a big get together, you know what I mean? Like we'll be there, we'll be part of the crowd or whatever. But you know, I don't know.
And I'm sure he's expecting us to be there.
Of course, but I mean, that way he'll think like it's a regular audience too, though, you know? So he'll obviously, I mean, he's gonna know where it's gonna be there, I feel like, but I don't know.
I'd be worried about him doing something to make sure he has an audience at that point.
True.
I started thinking through like the magic. Is there any way to maybe I could create an illusion around the arena that the audience would see us, but they would see what we want them to see through the illusion.
Whatever Beatrice did, whatever Lady Douglas did to that Black Ranger, reverbed on Celestor. We're going to have time either way. He's going to need to recover from whatever that was.
But we don't want to give him a chance to breathe. I want to deal with my cousin before he has a chance.
Unfortunately, your cousin is with him.
But if do you both have to set the time for it, or can you call them out, like, let's do this right now, and they have to honor it? I mean,
I wonder if I could reach my cousin through magic and kind of call him out, call him a little
Compel
girl
the duel?
Yeah. Before Celestor has his full strength.
You see Goodfellow kind of look over at Grimbrook, and Grimbrook just sighs. Could work. That could work. Goodfellow is thinking that you could always challenge him to a home gang. It's an old Nordic custom brought over to these lands from in the age of when the Saxons were supplemented as the prominent individuals in the area. It's a no holds bar fight within a square. No rules. 2 enter, 1 leave.
Sounds like something we do back in the States. You usually have a little ring with a rope around it, and you just beat on each other till one you quit, until you die.
I mean, it sounds deadly, but I guess it's better to set our own terms than to let the Fae set the terms.
If we do it right, Celestor won't have a choice but to make sure that he is there.
We do that, and we tell him if he doesn't show that, I will ensure that there will be somebody else that inherits the home, so that he will never be able to get it. That might force him even more so. As you said, I could transfer ownership of this house.
I mean, you would need to, by old rules, you'd have to take in a child without a family and claim it as your own in order to make them the heir.
I would be willing to do that. Perhaps there might be at the orphanage some children that might be talented in the arts of Arcana. That may be.
well,
Yes,
and
they're
they
all-
give, and well, also that you might be able to be a good father too as well. Maybe. I mean, yes, magic, but I think you'd make a good
I
father too.
understand that, and I would treat any child as I could as my own. It's not that was never my concern, but
Oh, I
we
know.
need to be able
I know.
to step up and defend this home at
There
the
should
time.
be a certain amount of magical aptitude in any child that would become the Lord or Lady Blackwood.
Yes.
This is Grimbrook speaking up. It's like, I understand what my lord was saying. He was not dismissing any of the children
Yes.
there, but to fulfill the requirements and duties of the family title requires a certain amount of magical aptitude.
And I didn't mean anything by it. I just know I
No.
saw you being a dad, and I think it's really cool. That's all. I just had a vision.
I do
That's all.
apologize. While I'm henching, I'm currently accessing more of the knowledge of Arcana, which means I kind of think in that sense more so than how I would normally. So my mind immediately went to that.
Well, I can personally attest to the genteel nature of all the kids at the orphanage, except for one. As I kind of muttered to
You-
myself.
I think that's the one that's going to be the right one. The one
Right, that is
yeah.
the correct
This
answer.
is
I don't know about that. He seems to have sinister underlying
oh,
motivations.
just like a certain someone did too. Is that, I mean, just like, who else did you think a
I
couple
know
weeks
not
ago?
what you speak.
Oh, okay.
Dude
Okay.
Brown.
Okay.
Is there a way that I could maybe create like
Go ahead.
an owl out of energy that it's like that can sense and see the the levels of magic in these children, that it could be invisible through the just to go there and see them from a distance.
With the amount of knowledge you have access to, you could create a
familiar.
You would be creating and summoning a familiar and binding it to you.
I think that's what I'm going to do right now. Just as we're all talking, like without even because again, I'm accessing this higher thing.
Right.
So my mind's just going to.
Your mind is currently the Akashic records. You have access to the full knowledge of the Blackwood family. It's a lot. You can tell that you even in this heightened state, and because of this heightened state, you can tell that you probably shouldn't be in this state, at least until you're more used to it for very long, without risk of kind of burning yourself out to a certain degree. But yeah, it's pretty simple. So you go over to the assortment of odds and ends and bottles.
Without even saying anything to you guys. Just so you guys, as we're talking,
like mid conversation. Yeah, I just mid conversation.
Right, and he's still talking and being a part of the conversation as he's doing this. His body's just doing other things. So you go over, and there are a collection of engraved animal skulls with silver runes on them.
There we go.
Owl skull? Is it an owl skull? Yeah,
of course.
Cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, you find it, and you go and you do the incantations. You cut a finger for a little bit of, you cut your thumb for a little bit of blood, bind it to you, boop, bam, snap, boom, and there is now an owl that is on your wrist. All of you can see the owl. The owl is an actual owl.
Kevin, do you see that owl, or is it just me? Do you see the owl?
I observe it as well. That's well, bravo. Would you be able to do that for all of us, though? Is that possible? Just not so much an owl, but
Ooh, we're gonna get a horse, Kedman? That would be awesome.
A knight needs their steed, right?
Tiffany,
I don't think right now it would be the right thing to do.
Yeah.
Cutting back over to you for a second. You've been playing in the water, and you look back to the beach, and you see Grish standing on the cliff.
Okay. 19.
So
she's just swim over to him.
you see Grish standing on the cliff, and you see the door standing right where the beach meets the waves to go back to the Blackwood tree. Where are you going?
I mean, she doesn't think the door's gonna go away, so she's just gonna go with.
This is gonna go to Green.
Yeah. She's just she'll he's on the cliff, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so she's gonna swim over and then just motion for him to swim.
He looks down and he smiles as he just takes a step off, and you see him come down and his feet touch the water but don't go beneath it. Unfortunately, the binds of my power prevent me from joining you within the waves, but I am happy to see that it looks like you're enjoying yourself within them.
And she's like, oh, pity you couldn't go swimming in the water. It's nice today.
He offers his hand down to you.
Yeah, I'll take it. I don't know what he's gonna do, but it's fun.
As he pulls you up, you are now standing on top of the water with him. There. Much better angle to look at you at. And he offers you his arm.
She'll take it.
And well, you did say that you would be willing to walk these trails with me if I was ever to walk them.
So I did. You're here.
And so are you, as he says, as the two of you walk through this mental memory you have of the Isle of Man.
Yeah, she'll show him She likes the bridge, which there's like this famous bridge on the Isle of Man. You always want to say hi to the fairies there, and she'll like take him to this little pond she likes, and just take him to all the places that she likes. She's like, I like this little pond. I like this grove of trees. I like to go out to this spot when I was little and would stargaze, and you know.
As you kind of take him to these different places, and you see that you can kind of tell because they're glowing where his eyes are, and you see that wherever it is you go, he takes in the place, and then he just focuses back on you as you talk and you speak, and you see him just nodding his head in understanding.
Mm-hmm.
This place means much to you.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
And yet you haven't returned to its shores.
No. Death is painful to humans. Well, apart from someone we long to be with.
Death is painful to all. It's not a simple matter of human or not. There are
yes,
those who I've remembered over years.
You're correct. You're right. I shouldn't have said that.
No, it's understandable for you to think such things when we live as long as we do, but there are humans who I have fond memories of that are no longer around. There are humans who I have had past experiences with that I wish I could have again, but know that I cannot.
Really? Who are these? Do you want to talk about any of them?
As he's talking with you, you see him kind of reach down, picking up one of the stones by the ferry bridge, and as he continues to walk, you see him kind of almost lovingly molding the stone with just his fingers into the almost perfect likeness of a person. You have no idea who they are, but it is of a young man in his probably early to mid-20s. I don't know. I believe that Morpheus Cat told you about in between these games, if one is not one gets very bored given enough time. If I remember
That
correctly.
was mentioned, yes.
We go many places and we take many different kinds of personas. And I was in Germany. There was this young goldsmith who was a brilliant boy. If he was born 200 years later, he would have been masterfully renowned world over, but unfortunately the knowledge that he had put together in the time that he was around was deemed heretical.
Yes.
I miss conversing with him. He was brilliant. Much as you are.
Oh. I try. And she's just like, I try.
And you can tell that you can feel just a little bit of a smile underneath his mask. There is. He puts his hand over the stone again, and you see that it is now a perfect match to the reliquary that you wear of your mother.
Mm-hmm.
Made of a stone from the Isle of Man.
Mm-hmm.
He offers it to you. That we never forget those who matter to us.
she'll take that. That's nice. She's like, oh.
And he adjusts his cuffs. Unfortunately, I still have things to observe. I've bent the rules enough for one day. If you have any need, simply call. And you see him step a foot onto the ferry bridge, walk over, but he disappears on the other side.
She really kind of anticipated something like that because, like, she's starting to understand that, like, there are crossovers in more places than one thinks. So,
Yep.
So,
You might just have to find a couple. That's all.
Yeah. So she'll pocket the reliquary. And do I confidently know I have the new machina?
Oh yeah.
Okay, I just want to make sure mechanically I'm not legally.
No.
Okay.
The second it booped your heads with it, so you had it.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so she'll take another look at the Isle and look at the castle that's there, and especially there's just one spot where she and her mom would look over the fields and into the ocean, and she just takes that in before walking back through the door.
Yeah, and you're back. And AP has an owl.
And I will say this: when it's sitting still, the feathers are like a really deep purple, almost black. But if you look at it, you can tell they're purple. And it looks almost like my machina shrunk down.
Just a little bit more lifelike.
Yeah, and its name is Galahad.
Yeah,
it's quite a gallant name.
I believe so as well. And its feathers shimmer when it flies with like an iridescent gradient. It's like shifts between deep shades of violet, midnight blue, and like silvery whites. It kind of like looks like a night sky when it moves. Like it almost looks like if it was in the sky, it would blend into the sky. As you can also see like celestial like stars in its wings as it goes. So it helps it blend in at night. Its eyes are normally like a moonlight yellow, but they sometimes will shift with the mood of whatever it's in. Like if it's happy, they'll change.
I like
angry,
it.
Sad. Yeah. So, and I picked Galahad for a reason. But yes.
Well, let's see. How did it go?
Yes.
I mean, I mean,
Well, it was fine, actually. It was fine.
oh,
Just fine.
It was fine.
Fine.
So for the rest of you who've done your own things in there, fine. Fine feels about right.
It was fine.
After your second go with the unlocking your second machina, that's fine. Sounds just about where it should be right now.
I shake my head in astonishment. It's like, well, I expect nothing less from my dear sister.
Well, it's not so hard when you know who you want to be. And I want to be someone sitting on a couch, so she goes over and sits on the couch. I'm very weary. And
Can I get you anything?
she'll actually unhension if she hasn't before.
Dehension.
Yeah.
So yeah, as you dehension, the aches of the past day set in. Cadman, have you unhensioned yet?
Yes, I have. Yeah.
Oh, you heard. You
Sister,
have to
make room on the
sure-
couch.
You have to make sure that your arm's not broken first.
Scoot over.
I can't believe
is-
AP only has one
Tiefling.
fainting couch. Oh.
There's
There's
two.
that. AP will create another couch.
Oh, now God.
Okay. That action is enough for you to know. Okay, I need to get out of this.
Well, I was actually about to say, as soon as I create that, you see AP like step back and like kind of like wobble, and then he dehensions and
collapses
stumbles.
onto the couch
Yeah.
he just created. Yeah.
is it?
But
I'm
like,
imagining
scoot
it's like an
over so you
owl-shaped
can
couch.
sit on it. He'll scoot
Right.
over so you can sit on it as well.
I imagine like an owl-shaped couch too, like it's like that shape of like an owl.
Actually, this one's the serpent. Actually, this one's shaped like the serpent.
Oh, That's tight.
All
can't relate
familiar?
that.
Serpent couch.
Hey, it makes sense.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, there is. Yeah, it is. There is enough room with 3 couches for all of you to make yourselves fit.
I guess I'll sit up. As I've been like laying on the couch, like trying to wash away the blood with the handkerchiefs, like.
Goodfellow snatches it from you and does a better job, grumbling at you still.
While he's a cat.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's like even cooler. That's even better.
What it is he snatches it out with his teeth, like he nips it from you, and then he puts it down and he just uses his paw.
So surreal.
Oh, but dear sister, I have something of the utmost urgency that you must know.
And she just sort of like, yeah, she seems to just slowly process that because a lot's happened today. So she's like, yes, Catherine.
So, and like,
I'm giving you a
he
thumbs up from like
pauses-
the side. Like, I'm giving
he
you, like, a thumbs
pauses
up
for like
behind
a
the mic.
second. So the presumed orphanage that the
Yeah.
Devonshires talk about flauntantly is actually real.
Goodfellow leans over to your Beatrice. Flauntingly?
just leave him to talk.
And it is in quite pristine condition, and they have spent many hours in service to this orphanage, in as much as their own estate is actually in disarray. Can you believe that it is 4 seasons out of style?
4 seasons. That's utterly dreadful.
Quite
Felicity,
disarray.
4 seasons ago was when Leopold's father got sick, which means that's when Leopold probably took over.
That's when she sort of you see her grip her skirts like oh my, and like
Yeah.
clutching her pearls almost, and then
Us
she
just like
Sipping tea.
oh, and then
clutching handkerchiefs over her face. Oh,
and as the wheels kind of turn and she's realizing that that's when Leopold took over and things are falling into place, and she's just, oh no,
Oh, we're the baddies.
oh no, Catherine, are we the bad people?
yes, we have committed quite a cruelty.
No, we're terrible. Oh, no, are we the bad guys?
I think Beatrice just like looks at the two. Like,
As we're just like both kind of flustering, it's like, dear sister, fear not. Quick, AP, summon some smelling salts or something.
And we're just smelling so
Exactly.
No, we are in
AP is
dire
out.
straits. No.
I'm in quite a spell.
So,
Rimbrook,
I run to try to find
are
some
not-
smelling salts. I'll go look around the
Grim-
kitchen or something.
Grimbrook brings a little small glass of brandy over to both of you.
This will do. Take a sniff. Take a sniff.
Oh.
Ah.
That'll do. Yes.
Um,
And I
You two aren't
just drink the
bad.
brandy.
yeah. You two
Right.
aren't bad people. It was just a misunderstanding. Everyone does it.
happens. Yes.
What is? You've been so
At least now you
infuriating.
know.
Well, it's just everyone says they're such great people, and it's just rather vexing to just have everyone, lord about them and fawn over them. They're so great, and then it turns out they actually are.
I mean, I'm sure they have their problems of their own. I mean, everyone does. I mean, but like it's at least now you know though. So that's the main thing, I think. And a good thing, right? I mean, more good people better than bad.
Yes, it's
Mhm.
it's good that
That's a
I'm
good point.
betrothed to such a lovely lady, and there's no
Yes,
falsehoods or
that's-
deceptions.
Yes, if we are to have someone married into the family, it should be someone who's good.
And think of it like this: now that our families are or joined, we'll be able to do more good. We'll be able to assist them. And now we will also be upholding such a good name in prosperity and propriety. See?
Yes. So by association, we may have our own virtue in added upon.
Yes, yes. When they speak well of the Devonshires, they also speak well of us.
This could be to our benefit. And you know, we
Of course,
I think-
we
I
just
think
look
that's
at
Beatrice. Yes,
yes, of course. It's only to our benefit. You know,
So-
it's our job as nobility to.
I
serve
suppose
those
we
lesser-
should, you know, assist with the orphanage, of course.
Oh yes, but you know, keep a keen eye about you. They are very lovely children, but there are some that are quite cunning.
Hey, whatever do you mean? You're just child us, aren't you?
Again.
Outsmart me! I would, and I like take a drink of my brandy.
That answers that.
They would never. They're just, you know, they're quite tricksters and trying to woo Lady Devonshire from me. It's a,
It would be good if we could sort of make a music
Cabin.
program for them.
Catherine,
Nice.
are you jealous of a child?
I would never.
I think Arthur perks up at that.
unbecoming and beneath me.
And Beatrice starts laughing but says ow because her muscles hurt.
Ow. Yeah.
Drink more of the brandy.
Welcome back, AP. You
Yeah.
feeling okay?
Maybe have something sweet to bring your spirits back up.
Oh, I got that right here. Got the scotch.
Maybe something with proper substance.
Where did you even get that from? Oh,
Oh, I could go with a good meal.
Go
Ooh.
ahead. I-
You.
I need you to head over to the orphanage that my dear friend was just speaking of and see if anybody has the right stuff, so to speak, to potentially become the heir of the Blackwood estate without being seen.
Ooh.
Just don't choose a child.
He just.
He's very short. He has
He's already
dark
gone.
hair. Just no wait.
He's already
I
gone.
didn't finish
Especially
describing
look
him.
at the one that Cadman's concerned about. He seems to be intelligent. And not be picking out smart Cadman.
He's not. It was just a sporting good. You know, just showing him a good match of wits.
You've already had some
And-
brandy, but here, you want some scotch?
Yes,
Well,
yes, of course.
I want to go to the kitchen and see if there's anything like if I took plain sandwiches because like Patrick hasn't learned how to cook many things, but he knows he can make a sandwich at least. I feel
Anything
like
to soothe these wounds. Ah,
I think he would
Yeah,
try to.
and
It'd
I
probably
think-
come
I
up
think
bad, but he
there
would
is,
try
and
to.
we're gonna pull away from the evening with Badrick walking in with this tray full of savage, which is as you guys kind of slowly get yourselves together and set back up to look at what the next couple of days will bring and how you kind of want to progress forward. So, does anybody have anything specific they're wishing to do this evening?
The evening of the fight.
The evening of the fight. Once you guys leave the Blackwood estate.
I have one thing. We can do what we said in chat first and then come back to it. Or if either or.
Why don't we go ahead and we'll do these and then we'll do that.
Awesome.
Perfect. So yeah, what is it that you're wishing to do, Brown?
Just check on my mom, essentially to see if she's any condition
Okay.
change, the main thing.
You, as you walk in, Nathaniel walks towards you with a smile on his face. She's awake. She doesn't remember a lot, but she's awake. Or at least she was. She was sleeping just a moment ago, but she was awake earlier.
I give him a big hug. like holding back tears, just give him like a, that brotherly kind of hug, just like that. Yes.
Yeah, the brotherly hug. Yeah, it is. It is in almost every way that is possible. The both of you have a parent again. Right. Did anybody else have anything they were wishing to do?
I do, but if anybody else has, they can go first.
Nope.
Felicity wants to check on. Felicity wants to check on Elizabeth. Make sure she got home okay.
So yeah, that's actually why don't we'll do that real quick and then we'll do AP stuff. So yeah, you know where Elizabeth's family's estates are. And they are in disarray. Unlike how Cadman kind of described that while the Devonshire estates are out of style, everything is actually very well maintained. It's just out of style.
Mm-hmm.
This is not maintained properly.
Ooh. And who came with me? Probably
I was
Flurry.
assuming, Flurry. I was assuming Cadman might have.
Oh yeah, Cadman would come.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would come with you.
Yeah.
Because this isn't so. There aren't bad parts of Angel's Crest, but you're not in Angel's Crest anymore. This is one of the suburbs surrounding Angel's Crest.
Mm-hmm.
And Kevin, when you learned where your sister was going, you probably thought it was a good idea if you came along.
Yeah, well,
This is the address.
are you sure this is it?
Oh, and she yes, I'm trying to. This is.
It's not abandoned or anything.
Shush! Don't be rude.
It was just an honest question.
Oh no, I don't think it's abandoned. I just think they're poor. I go and
Comparatively poor. Comparatively poor.
Yeah.
It's like not everyone is as wealthy as we are, so you know. Try to be sensitive. And she knocks on the door.
It was actually Elizabeth who answers the door. You remember hearing the rumors that Elizabeth's family had to get rid of all of their staff.
Mm-hmm.
And it's Elizabeth who cracks the door open. Miss Fairfax, Count Cavendish, what a surprise. You hear a little bit of a belligerent call from deeper in of a obviously intoxicated male's voice. Who's at the door? And you see her kind of wince a little bit at that.
I'm just like, you can lie and say it's the milkman, or we can barge in. Whatever you want us to do, I'll support you. Do you want to just leave? Like,
she looks at you. I don't know where I would go.
I was like, I mean, do you want to just? Okay, question: Is it like normal for people to like visit for long periods of time?
Depending on the situation. I mean, you are also skilled enough a musician that teaching somebody else with a live-in student would not be the weirdest thing.
Okay. I'm like, you could live with me, and I could teach you piano, and you could be my live-in student. There you go.
Are you sure?
Sir, this is positively dreadful. No one like you should be in this.
And she doesn't say anything. She just walks out the door, closes the door, leaving it all of behind as you guys just go back to the carriage. She's not even saying goodbye to her father, nothing.
I was like, perhaps, do you want to get your violin? I mean, I can get that stuff later. It's fine.
Yes,
I would
we
rather
can
have someone come with me to clear it.
Of course.
Don't worry,
come with us.
We can have help do so. I mean, this is
so long.
Well, it's here.
This is not only for you to bear, dear sister, but as Count, I feel like I should take obligation in this affair. And I think it is quite fitting for you to take on a student.
Yeah.
So, yes. And we get into the cart, and I say, you don't actually have to learn piano. I mean, of course, I could teach you, but it's really more of a cover to. We could.
I would love to learn. My fingers are better suited for string instruments, but I would love to learn at least a little bit to be able to expand my skills.
It does help when you're learning about the it does help. Music theory does make a little bit more sense when you look at it on a piano, anyway. So.
And we kind of pull out from that conversation as you guys start talking about music theory, and Cadman's mind goes to, I'm assuming, Bianca and him riding horses together down a side street or something.
Yeah. I've just been staring out of the carriage window. I'm just like, yes, Lady Devonshire, the angel that she is, angels of the angel crest.
Hey.
Just feel a light pat to tease you, Cadman.
No, what? Are we home already?
No.
Oh, wait, no, we've barely left. Oh,
I've just heard you daydreaming about your betrothed.
Oh, no.
Lady Devonshire. Whoa.
The angel, I believe it was the angel of Angels Crest was what he said.
Was I saying that out
I never knew you
loud?
were such a poet, Cadman.
Well, I do write a little bit, but that's not the point.
I think she should like it if you wrote her a poem.
Pulling back from this, AP, what is it what you were doing?
I think after everybody has left, and AP's kind of still recovering, eating actual food, and actually drinking teas while they're gone to help with the recovery. But he just doesn't do that in front of others. That's just more of a private thing while he's in the study. And he's looking over books, and he's called for Grimm to come to the study as well.
Yes, sir.
It's odd, and he holds up the Emperor's card. When I'm in this form, I can access things that I wouldn't normally be able to. Is this something that all Blackwoods should be able to?
If you were properly raised from birth to be the Count of Blackwood, and you live to be your uncle's age, the knowledge you have sounds about what half of you are accessing in that form is. I saw you create that familiar. That is a multiple day ritual normally. What you're doing, I believe that what you are doing, what you created when you made Galahad, is the first step of creating something like me. You didn't create a spirit, you bound a Zephyr to a form.
Did I do something wrong? Should I not have done that?
No. You didn't. If it didn't wish to find a master, for lack of a better term, a mortal companion, it would not have allowed itself to be bound into such a form. I was different. I needed to be bound to a form. I prefer this compared to what I would be without it. Do you know, and you see him adjusting his taking his glasses off and putting them to the side. Do you have Grimms or knowledge of Grimms in the Americas?
I don't know if would they have. I don't think they would have. Not like the way they do here. But I feel like his father would have had some stuff to like teach him instead.
Okay, yeah. Your father was also English, so
yeah.
There were probably talks about graveyards and churchyard. Probably the difference between how he misses churchyards, because churchyards aren't really a thing, especially in the West.
Yeah.
So you probably have a rough understanding of what a Grimm is.
I have an inkling of an idea, but I would be happy to hear more from you to give me a clearer picture.
The first thing buried in a churchyard never leaves. It acts as steward, guardian, and guide to those buried afterwards on it. This was at one point the duty of a member of the congregation until the first Grimm, a loyal hound that died in good care and buried within the bounds of the church. And as time progresses and as souls are guided past, we learn, we grow, we evolve. As we meet the different deities of the beyond, we learn aspects of them, grow in power due to our proximity to them. And then my churchyard was destroyed. And I sought a bloody vengeance for it.
So who bound you to this?
This would be your great Zevaville was 7th great grandfather at this point, I believe. You lose track of Blackwoods after a certain amount of time. I'm not going to lie. Some of you stick out over the years, but you'll be in my memory for quite a while. You're a very unique case.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Now I know that you said you prefer
Arturus Blackwood. I apologize.
That was who it was?
No, Arturus Blackwood.
Oh. Are you still happy with this connection? Do you feel forced against your will to be here? I mean, things are tough here. Times are tough.
That's an interesting one. There are certain allowances that I have that I'm allowed to do, and there are certain things that I can prevent from happening. Your cousin would never have found this tree. Doesn't matter if he was a ranger or not, he would never have found this tree. He would never have found certain books that your uncle left in his study that you found when you got here. He would never access certain parts of the grounds of the estate that I will show you next time we go to the Blackwood. I am the judge of the Lord Blackwood. I choose who becomes a true Lord Blackwood or Lady Blackwood and who does not. It is a trust that your family has put in me many generations ago, and it is one that I hold very loyally and close to my heart. It is an important duty that someone must continue to do.
Duty or not, is this what you want to do?
It gives me joy, and it brings me peace.
Well, if that's the case, you have more knowledge than me. I think perhaps you should have access to Galahad's eyes too for the orphanage to help me pick the right successor. Someone with a good heart and a good mind.
Why don't we let Galahad make a couple of selections, and shall I schedule a visit to the orphanage? Maybe 2 days from now?
I think that'd be fine.
I will put out the proper notices to the right individuals. Usually in these circumstances, we would inform the Devonshires, and then either the Lord or Lady Devonshire would walk with you as we talked through such things. And I'll make sure that a mark that I can see is nothing to harm the child, of course, but that Galahad signals which children are worth deeper scrutiny.
I guess that's it for now. And as he starts to walk to leave the room, I will stop him one last time. Grimbrook.
Sir.
When I had all that power running through me, it made me feel like Merlin himself. Are we connected to Merlin?
Connected but not related.
That would be a hell of a story if it was.
It's a hell of a story who you are related to. But that is a story for another time.
Sounds good. Have a good night, Grimbrook, and I really do appreciate you for everything.
And I appreciate having a proper lord to serve. Nods his head to you, and you see him kind of picking up books and things that were kind of left around when everybody had kind of left the tree. He collects the brandy plates and that kind of stuff.
Believe it or not, AP will actually get up and help him.
Sir, go rest. You've had a long day.
I can
Allow me my simple pleasures.
Fine, but only if you have a drink with me first.
Scotch is a dangerous thing to give a Grimm. He says as he shoots back at Scott just a bit, and you see that as the hair kind of stands on end, his ears perk a bit more as he just has this tremor run through his body. That is really good Scotch.
Yeah, that's right. The Queen knows
And I think
stuff.
that is where we're going to call it for a quick break. So we will be back in just a moment. And we look forward to seeing everyone then.